ask about Chelsea because I forgot about this. Legitimately, I forgot about this, but I'm about to read it out. In the last 5 games in the Premier League before the season went on a break, Chelsea's record was draw, loss. No winning 5.
Wow, Jesus,
3
I didn't know
defeats
that.
so no winning 5, 3 defeats on the bounce, and their last win was a 2-0 win against Villa, and they were peppered in that game. What's going to happen, Roy? Like, are you guys going to bounce back, or could there be more problems for Chelsea?
You know what, Terry? As in, the Roy you're talking to now isn't the one that you were speaking to last time he was on the terrace, which was I actually checked. It was about 2 months ago after we got slapped up by Brighton. And people know me, who know me on the app would have seen that. I like to defend my club no matter what. We could be shit, and I will still talk all the trash in the world. But you see that 2-month break, it sort of enlightened me into the point where I just asked myself one day, I was like, why am I defending shit? As in, there's a difference between being a good team and just not having a bad patch of form like Liverpool, but we're fundamentally a terrible side. Like, I can't defend this anymore. Like, defensively, we're suspect. We get ripped apart in midfield every week. Our attackers can't create, which means they can't score. And the few chances they do get, they fuck them up. Like, I can't defend this anymore. And right now, I think the way Bodie's doing it, long term, I think there will be light at the end of the tunnel. But right now, it feels like that tunnel is light years away. Because it's all nice buying, this 18-year-old Brazilian with lots of potential. Oh, we've got this young striker who's going to go on loan for 2 years and then probably maybe never even play for us. Or it could be Drogba 2.0, which is what I'm hoping for. But when I look at the squad right now, from back to front, it is shit. We used to have a great goalkeeper, and then he fell off a cliff. And the other one has basically been shit since Lampard. Defensively, we've been all over the shop. And then even Thiago Silva, who I think is one of the best centre-backs I've ever seen, even he hasn't been at his best. Koulibaly hasn't settled in like we wanted to. Fofana's been injured all the time, and he's literally just got injured again. Reece James can't stay fit. Cucurella hasn't been good enough, let's be honest. Ben Chilwell just coming off a long injury. In midfield, Kovacic injury prone, Kante injury prone, Jorginho's got breadstick legs, Gallagher is just a fucking road runner. Mount not been good enough. In attack, back to front, either they can't create, they can't store, they can't dribble. Like, we're fundamentally a terrible team. So when I speak about Liverpool, I can say, there's light at the end of the tunnel, because fundamentally they're a good team. They just had injuries and it needed a few tweaks. But when I look at this Chelsea squad, fundamentally it's a bad side. So how can I expect good results? Like, it doesn't make sense. And going into Bournemouth on Boxing Day, I can't say with full chest that we're going to win that game, because there's every chance we might not.
You will. Come on. Bournemouth, with all due respect, that's a game you should.
The Chelsea record versus Bournemouth.
Patrick, have you seen our recent record against Bournemouth? We lost 4-0 to these lot under Sarri. We lost 3-0 to them under Mourinho. They beat us at Stamford Bridge under Lampard. Our record against Bournemouth is shocking. It's so bad.
I didn't realize that.
But Chelsea, who I didn't even rate that highly, is going to be able to get a result. What are you going to say, Jess?
But Chelsea, I mean, as bad as you guys have been, which you guys have been really bad, you guys have 21 points and Liverpool have 22. So, like, we're over here talking about how great Liverpool are and how they can get into top 4, which I think they can. But Chelsea, I mean, you've been bad, but you're not this. I mean, Liverpool have been bad. Why can't you get into top 4? Why can't you get it?
Liverpool are fundamentally a good team. They're the fundamentals are there. They just needed a couple tweaks and a couple guys back from injury, and obviously grab a midfielder in Jan. And Liverpool should be calm.
But the other day, you guys won the champion. You guys won the Champions League.
Okay, so, like, Jess, that's not the other day. You know, we're nearly.
I don't know. You guys still talk about it like it was yesterday.
I know. So you got to hold on to these successes, but that was 18 months ago, and things were very, very different back then. But right now, as in fundamentally, I just don't think we're a good side. As in Liverpool, you look. The difference is Oh my.
It's Patrick cut out. God, how convenient.
Bowley cut him off. He was like, "No, I don't like what you're saying."
He shut the internet down at Roy's house. What are you saying?
name is Ash.
Because my head's gone. Ash.
Listen, I'm not really even talking to Chelsea fans at the moment. Like they're 15 points behind Arsenal. Yeah, it's a lot. Get back in the top 6. Yeah, look, I'm not. This is a top 6 show. We don't want to talk about Conference League and that here. Yeah, get above Brighton. Get above Brighton. Yeah, you know, like that. They stole everything from Brighton. The manager, their best player. Bruv, they took the whole lot from them. The whole backroom staff. Yeah, they can't even get above them. So like, look, jog Chelsea on. Yeah, Potter's style is going to take a while to implement that. Yeah, a long while. I mean, they've got Aubameyang up top. This geezer is dusty and crap. Like Arsenal rejects. We didn't want him. So like, how's he good enough for Chelsea if they've got the same aspirations? It's like, yeah, Thiago Silva is their best player. I think flipping, he's older than Potter, isn't he? He's so dead. He's dead, mate. I'll be real. So yeah.
He's got a new haircut, Ash. Give him some respect. Give him that new haircut. It's trendy now.
Done. Listen, man, even Sterling is like arguably their best attacking player, and they're playing him right wing back. You know, they've got all these pretenders. Loftus bum cheeks. He's crap. They've got loads of dead players.
The funny thing about Aubameyang is like he posted one of those stories or whatever, and like it went on the internet, and it sounded just like when him and Lacazette used to just be like so unserious. He got him a new Lacazette and Fofana can't stay fit. Okay, like you need to focus on whatever's going on with your knee or your ankle or whatever. You don't need to be messing around with Aubameyang. But Aubameyang found him a new little sidekick, and they're out here looking a whole fool on the internet. It gave me PTSD. Okay, when you're bad, the last thing you want to see is your players having fun. Okay, like why are you having fun?
Did you see the one with the kids where they had his whole family and like a couple of the kids had Barca shorts and flipping Arsenal socks and Chelsea tops?
That was wrong. That was all wrong.
The unseriousness.
I say this about Chelsea. I've said it all season. I get why Roy feels depressed, but that's because Roy's young and Roy has grown up with only knowing success. He didn't know the hardship.
I hate it here, Terry, man.
No, listen, I hear this. So my little brother, my dad's business, when I was a kid, we were poor. We were like, I don't know if hipsters will get this, but when I grew up, if you had high-tech trainers at school, you got bullied, okay? You got bullied hard. And up until I was about 7, 8, 9, maybe a little bit older, if we had high-tech, we were lucky. Do you know what I'm saying? Our bags weren't branded. We had to have the free school dinners. You went in first. Everyone laughed at you because you couldn't afford school dinners. We had it hard. And then my dad's business and my dad's job as a stand-up comedian started doing quite well. So we started getting money. I had a little bit of money, had a bit of life. It was great. My little brothers, they didn't get the hardship. They just had the money, right? They had a nice life. They didn't get it. And then there were some troubled times later on down the line. There were some troubled times. You know, they got a bit wavy again, right? Me and my brother were like, we've been here before. We'll be all right. My little brothers, they didn't know how to handle it. They didn't know how to handle not having money. They didn't know how to handle, what do you mean I can't get a second pair of new trainers in a month? Do you know what I mean? My dad had 5 kids. My dad was a madman, right? Mad. Honestly, our shopping bill in the 90s was £130 a week. That's in the 90s, bro.
I know.
In the 90s. That's about £500 now just to put food on the table. It's crazy. But like, I feel like Chelsea fans are like my little brothers. A lot of the younger ones on socials don't remember the hard times.
It's true. All we know is success.
Yeah, and you're panicking. But the reason that I say that is this, because I see what Todd B is building. And the fact that Christopher Nkunku is willing to join you, Jude Bellingham is a genuine option, Vlahovic is looking at you, and you are looking at some of the best young talent around the world and they want to sign. You're building something that's more medium to long term. You've got to go through these hardships. And I think that Arsenal should be I know that no one wants to ever do this, but you need to look at some of your rivals as an example and a beacon that you're building something. And I said this about the way Chelsea were running under Abramovich, that it wasn't sustainable in 2022 because everybody's got money. And it has to be a long-term project that your club has coupled with the money. It can't just be spend, chop and change managers, chop and change philosophies, chop and change the approach. That era's gone. There was once upon a time you could have 2 or 3 oligarchs around Europe that owned a club that ran like that, and those clubs would stand tall. But you have to have a long-term plan, and I think that's what Chelsea have got. it's gonna be peak for a short period of time. There's gonna be some horrible moments because you've got a squad right now that's made up of Sarri, Lampard, Tuchel players, and now you're gonna start adding Potter players to it. You've got players there that do not want to be there because they weren't signed to be part of this. They weren't signed to be what's going on now at your club. So you've got this big mismatch of individuals. It's going to take time to clear that out, bring in new people, and get things to settle. While that's happening, we're going to enjoy it because we all enjoy it. We're going to enjoy it.
Absolutely brilliant watching Conor Gallagher, Ruben Loftus-Cheek midfield pivots.
We're going to enjoy it, and people can say that I'm wrong. People can say cut it out, but if you could explain how I'm wrong, and
it's true.
I want to say this one thing: the Football Terrace is now doing the Kathy Newman challenge. If you can stumble bum me, Kathy Newman style, where I cannot render a cohesive response, okay, I will pay you £10,000 cash. So if you want to call in now and go, Terry, you're wrong about Chelsea, and you can come up with a point where I just go, oh, I don't know how to respond, I will give you, on my children's eyes, £10,000 cash. I'm bored of the challenging in the comments. Phone in, challenge me, stumble bum me, shut me up, and I'll make another chat. If I can't respond within 5 seconds to your point, I will give you £10,000 cash on my children's eyes. No one in the YouTube community can beat me in a debate, so I'm putting 10 grand cash up for you to do it. 100%. They want to challenge me, come on and do it. And no, Jesse's eyes weren't rolling. I hope they weren't. I weren't looking. But I'm saying this now, £10,000 cash. Because I challenge you to prove my point as wrong. Come on now and do it. 10 grand cash. Expressions can beat me in dissing me, but he can't beat me in a debate. I'll beat him in a debate. And by the way, this is the point. This is what I keep saying to people. I love Expressions, by the way. He's a good guy. Beating me in a debate isn't you, the audience, thinking he's won or she's won. It's stopping. This is the only way you win a debate in this world, when you stop your opponent from being able to respond. That's winning a debate. If you go, I think Jason's right and you're wrong, I don't give a shit. You have to stop me from responding. If you stop me from responding, then you beat me. 10 grand cash. If you want to challenge me, come online now and do it. If not, forever hold your peace. Simple as that. In fact, I'll up it to £20,000 because I'm feeling flush. 20 grand cash.
Jeez.
And I'll pay you rent or mortgage for 12 months.
Fucking hell.
That's a full rank there. There was too much clean up.
Yes, that looks very incriminating.
Up the challenge.
They cut him off. They're like,
No, I mean, I was just like, my eye was itching.
No, I honestly clicked the button on my mouth and took me out. This is what I love about. This is what I love about the challenges. They say things like, "But you can respond with BS," but I can't, can I? If somebody says to me, Terry, this is why you're wrong, bang, 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 and my response is microwave, then I lose. It has to be a cohesive response. I have to be able to challenge their points instantly. 5-second rule. If someone says to me, Ronaldo's better than Messi because he scored this type of goal, and my response is, yeah, but did you see that pass from Modric last week? Then I lose. It's easy to beat me if you can, but you can't. 20 grand and your rent or mortgage paid for a year. Until then, hush the gums.
What I was going to say about this whole medium long term thing is that I completely understand it. As in, once our structure's in place and they're all like used to working with each other, they've all got one common goal in mind, I think we will be very successful. But this is a top 6 show. No one really cares about medium long term, what Chelsea are going to be doing in 2027. We're looking at what's going on right now. And right now, the squad's a mess. And I can't see any, barring a miraculous run of form or Potter magically comes up with the right system that's perfect for everyone, I don't see any way we make the top 4. I just think there are just at least 5 teams that are more consistent than us.
Do you not buy into the Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Conor Gallagher double pivot? Cucurella left centre-back, Sterling, Pulisic wing-backs, Havertz up front because he's been so good at that. Do you remember he scored a goal in the Champions League final? So
he did.
Get rid of him. Yeah. So you can never say a bad word about Kai Havertz because he scored a goal in the Champions League final. You're so bad. Let's be honest. You'll get good, but I enjoy how bad you are right now because your summer window may well be one of the most overrated windows I think I may have ever seen. People were sitting there going about how it's one of the best windows in recent years. You bought positions you don't need. Your biggest issue was always your attack. You were going to need a centre-back. You didn't need 2 centre backs and a left back who you're going to play centre back, and then this.
No, we needed 2 because Christensen and Rudiger left, so we needed 2
Yeah,
centre backs.
That's fine.
Well, you needed midfielders.
Why
Yes,
did you need
we really
You needed
Cucurella?
did.
air.
What,
That
what,
midfield
what,
is-
what purpose did Cucurella serve?
As in,
What purpose?
Tom, I
I
can't
can't
tell
believe
you. Like,
he's looked so bad. I cannot believe he's
like
looked
honestly,
so
I
bad.
thought he was going to be signing of the season. I thought he was going to be the best performing left
No
back
chance.
in the Premier League this season. And honestly, he has not been anywhere.
How
I can name-
about with everyone as well? You know, Chelsea have this fantastic scouting system that you've built upon years. You find
No,
great
Tom, we
young talent,
don't.
this, that, and
We
the other.
don't. That's what you.
How is
rivals do.
Aubameyang your best solution for striker?
Tom, as in, let me tell you something. Rivals seem to think we have a fantastic. Our scouts are shit. Our scouts watched Chouameni and said, "Yeah, let's leave him to bake in France for 1 more year, then we'll go sign him." Instead, we're gonna go to Atletico Madrid, pick up a midfielder who's done fuck all in 3-4 years,
Oh, you
and
saved
he's
us
gonna
there.
be a solution to our midfield problem. That's what our scouts came up with. Our scouts have seen that we have no defensive midfielder with any sort of athleticism whatsoever. And they said, cool, we'll let it go for another year. We haven't signed a midfielder since 2019. We haven't signed a midfielder since 2019. And then I'm not even counting Sal. I'm not counting Gallagher because he's a Cobham lad anyway. I'm not counting Mason Mount. He came from Cobham. I'm talking about we haven't brought in a first team midfielder permanently because Zakaria doesn't count either since 2019. And the one DM we have, who was great in 2021, thank you very much, Jorginho, has lost everything that he had remotely positive about him, and is part of the reason why we get ruined every single week. The other midfielder we have, who's been a great servant, thank you very much, Kante. I'm sorry, but you have to go at this point. Like, your availability is just, you may as well just not be here. Again, Kante, thank you for your service. You were the best midfielder in the world in your prime. But how can we justify paying him 300k a week to play 10 games a season? And
Who was your last good signing? Who was your last good signing?
That's a really good question.
Thiago Silva.
Thiago Silva.
Yeah, probably Thiago Silva.
And
He's
that was
last one I could
amongst
say.
a big summer window that had like 7 players in it.
Yeah, we brought in.
Most of them have flopped.
We bought in so many. Like,
and Thiago Silva was free.
Pulisic, Vernon.
I told you that Koulibaly was a bum, by the way. In the summer.
Okay, no.
When you signed Koulibaly, I told you
you're doing too much.
No, I'm not.
Hang on, guys, but that goes back
Koulibaly's
to
not a
the point.
bum. Koulibaly's a bum. All your centre backs are bums.
Sorry, but let's go back to the point though.
Yeah.
Just before we go into that, let's go back to the point. They signed Pulisic for Sarri, and then by the time he came in, Lampard was there. Lampard had a year where he couldn't sign anybody, and then they signed the Kai Havertz of this world and everybody else in that massive summer for Lampard. And they moved on to Tuchel within 4 or 5 months. A year and a bit later, you've now got Graham Potter, who didn't sign any of the mass you signed in the summer. This is why you're struggling. And Chelsea fans have just got to sit back and they've got to give Graham Potter time. They've got to give Todd Bowley time to create a squad in his image to make it work. You're basically right now, you've got 4 manager squads all trying to work together and it's falling apart. And anybody that can't see that doesn't understand football.
The thing is, Terry, you say that, and then people still expect me to be like, "Oh, why don't you predict Chelsea to come in the top 4? Like, are you making top 4 this season? Oh, surely there's no light at the end of this tunnel. This tunnel does not have light. There's a brick wall at the end of this tunnel. And when we break through that brick wall in a couple years' time, then we might see a bit of light. But until then, there's no light at the end of this tunnel. It's in right now.
Who
we
says
are
Potter's even going to do well?
Continue to be shit.
Who says Potter's going to even do well? Like, the credentials.
Listen, I think Potter's an okay manager. Like, he's good.
We can see.
I don't think he's elite.
I mean, like, he might just get shipped out, and then like what Terry's saying, then you've got another bunch of Potter players.
I think Potter's Bowley's guy. Potter's Bowley's guy. Tuchel was
but how do you know? Bowley's just come in. We don't know if he would just chop and change. He might just be on a
no. I didn't. If you look at the way he's run his other franchises, he's always found his guy and then giving them all the tools they need.
It depends how well Potter. If he doesn't hit the ground running, like what Chelsea are like 9 points off bottom 3. I'm just saying, like, I mean, if it gets peaked like that, you can play. I don't think you'll
get that. I think I hope it doesn't get that bad, but.
Yeah, imagine a couple of
right now. We're not good.
Imagine a couple more. We're gonna do predictions a little bit later.
Against Bournemouth ain't great, as you know. Like
I said, I have no hope.
I wouldn't like to be in Chelsea's shoes.
The thing is, with the future, there's a real concern, I think, with we know what Todd Bowley wants to do. He wants to give Potter the time and the tools to do what he does. But I think there's a real concern that at some point, what Abramovich done in terms of chopping and changing owners At what point does that go from an owner culture to a club culture, and it carries over with Bowley for the initial phase until he can start getting results and start getting good graces? Where
Yeah.
let's
Yeah,
say
but-
there's another 12 months of dodgy
they're-
results from Potter, and
but-
he caves.
Yeah, but they've brought in the whole team now. They've got technical directors, sporting directors, like that stuff. I know rival fans do this.
Nuno done that at Spurs, Terry.
Sorry.
We've still got some of the chefs there, bro. The physios.
I
Nuno's
will
guys.
make you proud.
Viewers, listen. Make